hearts were broken all over the world this morning. So sad, with the news of another relatively sudden engagement.
People magazine reports the couple has been dating for 2.5 months and that Jonas proposed last week on Chopra's 36th birthday.
Priyanka Chopra and Nick Jonas have tied the knot.
Priyanka Chopra and husband Nick Jonas are welcoming a real baby into their lives.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Exposing SMG. Today we are talking about none other than Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra. One of Hollywood's most shocking pairs. We've talked quite a bit about Nick and Priyanka, especially emphasizing their weird start and, more importantly, the lies on how they started dating. Be sure to check out my video on that from last year. Some people think that Priyanka married Nick for fame, and that's often combated by Priyanka herself, saying that she's the more famous and more successful star. Then there's an interesting part of the internet that thinks that Nick and Priyanka are in a fake relationship. Well, welcome to that interesting part of the internet. I have my own personal reasons as to why I believe that, and I've talked about them before in a video. It mainly has to do with the fact that their timeline doesn't add up. When they got engaged after dating for 2 months, their rep started lying and talking about how they were texting and secretly dating for months beforehand. And it's funny because Nick was actually publicly dating or even kissing other girls at the time that they claim he was talking to Priyanka. But that's not the point of this video. Today we are talking about Priyanka and Nick's new baby. In a joint Instagram announcement on January 21, Nick and Priyanka announced the birth of their baby via Surrogate. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe for more weekly content and follow us on our social media. This isn't your average celebrity channel if you haven't noticed. Now back to Nick and Priyanka. Their statement read, "We are overjoyed to confirm that we have welcomed a baby via Surrogate. We respectfully ask for privacy during this special time as we focus on our family. Thank you so much." The news did catch everyone by surprise, including me, the mainstream media, and so on. TMZ was of course later updated in just mere hours, and they revealed the gender of the baby, a girl, and that she was born on January 15 in a Southern California hospital. First of all, since the day Nick and Priyanka got married, they've been teasing the idea of starting a family. They talk about it literally every 3 months. So you can imagine my shock when I see that Priyanka talked about having kids in the future with Nick 2 months before the announcement of the baby's birth through a surrogate. The funniest part? The article came out on January 13, 2022, but the interview took place in November 2021, and they announced the birth of their baby girl on January 21. If you didn't know, Priyanka did a whole spread for Vanity Fair in which she talked about having kids in the future, her career path, and so on. There is a specific part of the interview that I'm going to focus on, and that's when Priyanka was obviously asked about having kids. She said, "They're a big part of our desire for the future. By God's grace, when it happens, it happens." And when the interviewer points out that their lives seem busier than ever, Priyanka says, "No, we're not too busy to practice." The interviewer then clarifies and says she's talking about their pace with work and how they'll have to slow down when a child enters their lives. Now keep in mind that this interview is going on as Priyanka paints a very busy and hectic life for us. The interview literally starts with Priyanka saying, "Upstairs is crazy, this is definitely not normal," and this is in reference to some photo shoot going on with Nick Jonas. So right off the bat, the tone of the photo shoot is that Priyanka is this extremely busy and successful actress that can't get a break. Her life is very hectic, and her sitting down to do this interview is basically her taking a breath. Now, if you aren't familiar with cover stories when they're about celebrities, well, I'm here to tell you that there's usually a tone that's set. Whether the celebrity wants to appear as a chill rocker, vibing in a loft and making music, or a down-to-earth musician who's creatively working on their sophomore album. There is always a tone. Think of it as an aesthetic, a Pinterest aesthetic, an Instagram aesthetic. There's an aesthetic that the interview wants to set. In the case of Priyanka, it's giving very much workaholic, super busy, and successful actress to the point where the interviewer is describing the scene, and I quote, as a flurry of activity at the Chopra and Jonas place in Encino. Dozens of people are rushing around, moving cars in and out of the garage, carrying boxes and unwrapping dishes and glassware. Priyanka Chopra Jonas sits down across the table from me in the quiet game room downstairs and laughs. I swear it's not always like this. No, nothing in that entire story hinted that they were getting ready to settle down, which poses my next question. Did Priyanka even know that there was going to be a baby? I don't believe for 1 second that they wanted privacy or anything of that sort because Priyanka is very publicity savvy. And don't worry, we'll get to Nick in a moment. Now, usually when a celebrity is to announce something like this, they lay low or butter up the general public so they can come off as authentic or whatnot. But Priyanka genuinely seemed like she didn't know she was having a baby. I think she's just as surprised as we all were with the TMZ notification. She even says that we're not too busy to practice, which is basically saying we're gonna try until we get a baby, and assumingly, she should know that she's having a baby via surrogate, right? And that one day she's going to have to explain herself, or that, hey, this article's coming out in the same month that the surrogate is due, so why would you not butter up the general public for the surrogacy announcement? Like I said, before a celebrity reveals big news like this, they butter up the general public for months beforehand. Priyanka didn't. Everything she said was consistent with what she's been saying in interviews for years. So regardless of the truth, she's not coming off as authentic in my opinion. And this wasn't the only example that made us go, huh? During the 1-hour Netflix comedy special, which premiered on November 23, Priyanka made a joke about how both she and Nick are the only couple out of the Jonas Brothers who don't have kids yet, and that she's excited to make this announcement. She then says, sorry babe.
If you don't know, we're the only couple who doesn't have kids yet, which is why I'm excited to make this announcement. Sorry babe.
And as you can see, Nick's heart looked like it almost stopped. He literally looks like he's about to cry. And now listen, Nick ain't the best of actors, so if he was lying here, then my apologies, Nick. Someone give the man an Oscar. But he genuinely looked confused, and maybe that had to do with the fact that it was a secret? But after a long pause, Priyanka jokingly clarified and said, Nick and I are expecting to get drunk tonight and sleep in tomorrow.
Nick and I are expecting to get drunk tonight and sleep in tomorrow.
Har, har, har. And then Nick proceeded to say that he was a bit concerned.
Oh, your face was really funny when I said that.
Yeah, I was a bit concerned.
Now notice the choice of words there. It wasn't shocked, surprised, oh no, it was concerned. So what do you guys think? Things don't seem to be adding up, and wait until the end because it gets even more scandalous. One thing I've realized with running a celebrity blog and channel exposing the media and elaborating on how things are handled, it's that when history doesn't make sense, just rewrite it. This happens countless times in the industry where a celebrity's publicist will sell some sort of story that doesn't align with the past, and this is usually done when a couple's history isn't as genuine as they want to make it seem. Now, People magazine is reporting exclusively through their teams that they spent months renovating the house for the baby. I mean, the truth is, they could have been renovating the house just to renovate, but now they're telling us it's for the baby. I mean, does the baby really care if you have marble walls in your walk-in closet? I don't know. And all of this is starting to remind me of one specific thing. What is it? Oh yes, the news of their engagement. After they got engaged, the media went overboard trying to fill in holes of their relationship by substituting stories for the past that didn't make any sense. In simpler terms, they started rewriting the past. They were writing a relationship timeline for Nick and Priyanka at a time when Nick was publicly dating other women. And who's gonna go back and fact check them? It's too much work, right? Well, not if you run ESG. Now it seems like they're going to go the extra mile to fill in stories about how they were totally expecting. Even Vanity Fair writes that Priyanka gave a hint that they were expecting in her February 2022 cover story. And it's like, Ain't nothing in that article tells me that Priyanka was alluding to having children. As I already said, it was very on brand to what Priyanka would say when asked about having kids. It's like she had a script constantly ready, and knowing Priyanka, that was probably the case. I honestly don't know what's going on, and I can't sit here and be like, oh yeah, the baby is totes a prop for their marriage. It's just very sus, but a reader of mine messaged me asking to elaborate on this blind item from this blog that talks about every celebrity on earth. If you are unfamiliar with blind items, it's basically story excerpts that expose tea, but they don't often reveal the subject of the story unless it's confirmed in the public. In this case, the blind isn't revealed, and it was published 3 days after the news of Nick and Priyanka's baby was revealed. They write, there have been some serious back and forth conversations occurring between family members in this far-reaching celebrity family. There is way more to this whole surrogate birth thing than first meets the eye. A significant other of one of the family members was asked about it by a long time friend, and the significant other said they couldn't discuss it. Why? So, that's interesting. If the blind is about them, and if it's true, then what do you guys think is the reasoning behind why everything is being kept top secret? What is more to the story? I will give it to them. Nick and Priyanka are working overtime to keep whatever the story is private, because it seems like if it got out, it would be extremely scandalous. I really want to know what you guys think. Is there more to the story? If so, then what? Or do you think everyone is just dramatic and these celebrities are just normal and they just want privacy? Let me know in the comments down below, because we can all use each other's input on this topic. If you guys want more deets on their relationship, including some inside tea, then head over to exposingsmg.com to see what I recently exposed about them. It will be also linked in the description box alongside other scandalous articles. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe for more, and as always, I'll see you next time.